Mo Abudu.
Named as one of Forbes 100 Most Powerful Women 2023, the Variety 500 list, and being acknowledged as Hollywood Reporter's top international women executive in entertainment. In today's How They Built Wealth, I'll be sharing 7 lessons I learned from Mo Abudu. Lesson number 1, the courage to take on new ventures.
I decided to leave ExxonMobil. It was a really big jump for me. For me, there was this unsettling feeling that there were certain things that I felt that I had to do. And the thing is that when you decide otherwise, there are no guarantees about that decision that you have taken. You don't know how it's going to turn out.
And they say that the definition of an entrepreneur is risk-taking, right? So I have this amazing job at ExxonMobil. I'd been there for a decade, head of human resources. And then I just wake up one fine day, 10 years later, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. Was it risky? Was I afraid? Was I scared? I was all those things. But I just wasn't going to leave it there. I decided to just take the plunge. And I left my wonderful 9-to-5 paying job. And I decided that go out there and make it happen.
Lesson number 2, expand and diversify your reach.
The bigger idea came to leave consulting and jump into media. And I started with a talk show. And coming from the continent, talk shows are considered like, why are you going to leave ExxonMobil? Why are you going to leave your consulting practice to go and become a TV presenter, is how it was coined. And they weren't seeing the bigger picture, that this was just basically the anchor project for me to even go further and further into the world of media. For me, the talk show was a jump-off point for whereby we could start to have that conversation around things that are important to us as Africans. We are 1 billion people. We do need to be able to tell our own stories.
Lesson number 3, be persistent and keep going, especially in the face of rejection.
Everybody smiles and then you sort of, have champagne or you have wine and it's smiley, smiley, kiss, kiss, kiss here and there. We'll be in touch. And you collect the business cards and you send the emails and nothing happens and it's one story after the other. So yes, we went through many years of that. And I think it's par for the course. You're going to go through that. But the thing is, are you going to give up? The worst thing is when someone just says, we're going to respectfully pass. It's the worst email you're ever going to get because you believe in this project. You can see it, but they can't always see it. So it can take some convincing and some persuasion for them to see that there's a story there.
Even, of course, you're going to be challenged. You're going to go to many, many meetings and people are going to say no to you. But for me, each time I hear no, I'm like, I'm one notch closer to a yes. Because I totally believe in the law of averages. Everybody cannot say no. At some point, you're going to get to that yes.
It's about being at the right place at the right time and being able to tell the right story at the right time where the world is ready to listen. Now, am I saying that all is well today? All is not well. But is there definitely an improvement on the situation from what it was before? 100%. Now, are most of the gatekeepers and the commissioners still, white men, middle-aged white men? Very much so. Are they beginning to listen? Some of them. Are we getting more and more black commissioners or commissioners of color? It's beginning to change. So that's the work in progress. So for me, I've been going to a market called MIP TV and MIPCOM in Cannes for the last 10 years. The conversation has changed. People are beginning to listen because commercial forces are making them listen.
Lesson number 4, collaboration and finding people to collaborate with.
And Netflix, to go back, were the first ones to realize that there's a market. There's an African market. So I'd been knocking on Netflix's door before they came to Africa, and they weren't listening when they weren't ready. But the minute that they were ready, because I'd been knocking and knocking and knocking, obviously, we were able to sort of continue those conversations whereby it became, okay, Mo, let's do a slate deal. So, we're happy to say that we are the first, company to have a multi-slate deal with Netflix across the continent. And I think they're happy with the progress we're making. And we'll continue to just give them as many blockbusters as we can. We now have grown out of not just having Netflix as a partner, but reaching out to other co-production partners that we have to include Sony Pictures Television, Stars, Lionsgate, Will Packer, Westbrook, the BBC, it's taken everything.
News about a new partnership that we're breaking some news right now.
Yes,
Tell us
yes.
is happening.
We are breaking some news, and I'm excited to say that in partnership with Idris Elba and his company Green Door Pictures, we are going to be working on 2 major areas. But we keep knocking, and the more we do, the easier it becomes.
Lesson number 5, planning and preparation.
I think preparation is important. You can't just go into wanting to leave paid employment without having had a secure plan about what you're going to do once you have left paid employment. You have to plan. There are no guarantees that it's going to work. But I always believe that, with a great plan, if you're ready to work hard, and if you put God first, I do believe that you will get the results that you need.
I think it's how you package. It's how you present. It's how you pitch.
Lesson number 6, have a long-term view and be willing to make sacrifices now.
You can't go into business thinking that you're going to make a huge profit as soon as you set up that business. That business has to grow. You're going to have to look at the fact that you may not be able to take extensive holidays, or you may not be able to do all the things you could even do whilst you were fully employed. What are the sacrifices that you're ready to make that business work? Because sometimes we're not ready for the sacrifice. You want to continue living the life that you led when you were being paid 9 to 5 and there was a big company car and there was this and there was the other. You may have to just sort of take a step back to see what those things are that you're going to have to just say, well, I can't do that for now.
Lesson number 7, turn challenges into opportunities.
Whilst I was busy with Vic Lawrence, what I had found was that there weren't really any purpose-built training and conference facilities in Nigeria. We'd use the Sheraton Hotel in Ikeja, we'd use the Eco Hotel, we'd even use a place called TCC Ogere, which is outside of Lagos on the way to Ijebu. And in those days, there were no phones. There were no phones. I mean, today, the world has changed. People don't know how lucky they are at times setting up a business in the Nigeria of today versus what it was like back then. So I would have a team in TCC Ogere. I would be dialing the number to get through to them. Maybe after 100 tries, I would get through to some landline that started with 860, whatever it was in those days. So we did a lot of training there. So for me, the challenge then was, okay, you're going to focus on training and development, but where are the purpose-built centers for this? Eco Hotel, there could be a wedding going on next door, then you have a training event going on, people can't concentrate. Pretty much the same happened at the Sheraton Hotel. TCC Ogere was really far. I started thinking about putting together a center. So it started pretty much as just a center that could, you could sleep there. You could also have the training center there. We had done some plans initially. We had to change the plans to be more suitable to a hotel. The cost of investment of building the Prote Hotel went up like tenfold, from it just being a nice little training center to it now having some sort of, 3-star standard. Of course, I was invested in it. And I found that my investment in terms of my shareholding was dwindling because I couldn't afford to take on the huge investment that it was. I mean, I was 35 at the time. The project cost in those days was $10 million. And I just wasn't going to be able to do it alone. So I had to say to myself, do you want to see this become a reality? Even though you may end up owning a smaller share. Or do you just want to sit back and say, well, I'm just going to build a little center which may not get all this branding and this, or do you want others to come in and be a part of it so that it can be a much bigger dream? And I said to myself, I'm going to go the route of let me get other investors in.
Bonus point, put God first and let God guide you and give you ideas.
What inspires you? Where do the ideas come from? I have to just say it's God. I mean, it might sound a little bit basic, it may sound simple, it may sound, right, but that is the truth. Because what I find often happens to me is, and I will say this to anyone, never go to sleep without a notepad by your bed and a pen. Because for me, any idea that I've had has come in the middle of the night. And those ideas come, and I find that if I haven't noted it down, by the time you wake up, you may have forgotten it. So I find that it's the clarity for me is always at some point in the middle of the night. And then I instantly just wake up, and then I just write and write and write and write. And then I transfer that into some sort of PowerPoint presentation, and then I'm able to go out there and sell the idea.
I hope you found these 7 lessons inspiring as I have. Let me know in the comment below which of them you would adopt.